You know, it's Friday, and we love our Fridays because we get to open up our wallets, so to speak, and learn about a little faith in finance with Drew Blazsik, who's in studio right now. Good morning, Drew. How are you?
Good. Good morning. Get to sit in Dave's seat again. It feels.
I know. Davey's sitting in your seat. Is that
incredible.
okay?
I don't understand why this seat is more sunk in than the other one. I'll tell you.
No, it's just a normal chair. But I'll tell you what, Drew brings some dignity to the chair. Yeah. I'm going to let that lay right there. Drew, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good. Now, today you're talking about distributism?
Distributism, yes. Yeah, so we talked about the encyclical. We talk about the different economists, Catholic economists, Heinrich Pesch, and distributism came out of these two thinkers, Catholic thinkers. You got G.K. Chesterton. It was a co-founder with Heller Belloc. They're the ones, the founders, you say, distributism. And this was an economic worldview that didn't gain a lot of traction and gained some traction around the Catholic world. And it really tries to promote the writings of Heinrich Pesch and those encyclicals that we went over. And the reason why it came about was the emergence of socialism and the emergence of, I would say, some would say crony capitalism, but you would say capitalism that really centralizes the wealth to a few. The capital that goes to the few.
That's an important distinction.
Yes, it's real important to see that. So distributism is an economic and social philosophy that advocates the widespread ownership of property. And we're not just talking about home ownerships, we're talking about capital, the means of production. So widespread, many people own. Decentralization of economic power and the promotion of small-scale local enterprise. So this is real important to see the distinction there. It emerged as a response to the perceived issues of both capitalism and socialism. The key principles of distributism includes the belief in the importance of the private property ownership by as many individuals as possible. So it doesn't mean everyone, but everyone who would desire to have it. The economic society would really try to promote that. The idea that economic decisions should be made at the most local level feasible. And that's one of the core principles of distributism. And that's really a Catholic principle.
That's that's like the principle of subsidiarity, right?
Subsidiarity is the main principle. Yep, distributism.
Okay.
And then the preference is for small family-owned businesses over large centralized corporations. And that's a very important distinction, that communism centralizes the power to the government. And at times, capitalism, the wealth can be centralized to individuals that own capital. And G.K. Chesterton famously said the problem about capitalism is that too few own capital. So a Catholic economic system, distributism, and I think that word is very deceiving. We think of distribute someone's wealth to somebody else. It's not
like
that.
Generosity, it kind of implies.
It sounds like that, but really what it is that it's the promotion of individuals owning property, the means of production, and subsidiarity. So it's real important to see that. So, and what I want to do, especially next week, I want to do the Drew Blazsik top 5 ideas that local policies that we could pass that can really promote distributism in those regards.
Great. We'll have a drum roll ready.
Yeah, we'll have that. Well, that'd be next week, so I'll put that together there. So good. I think that'd be something, because when you hear about distributism, I think a lot of people, it sounds beautiful and the ideas, but no one knows how to apply it to our economic system or our principles, or just pass bills that can promote it. So that's a goal of mine, to really think about how can you get distributism and how can you promote those ideas within our local society. And here's just a great example of why distributism is real important. This is hypothetically, say you have a potato famine in Ireland. Okay, you did have that, right?
Yeah.
At that time that the potato famine happened, they were a net export of food. Ireland was. And that's the sad reality of it. If we put profits above our people that we should take care of, as in our community, the land in Toledo should be used for the people of Toledo, right? And then if we have the principle of profits above our homeland, I think that's where the issue can come in, where you have just a market economy. I want to gain the most profits I can. And I think that's where distributism would show that, we need to help out our people with food, families, so they can raise a family, and really live virtuous lives.
So this principle it has been looked at, explored in the past, but as you say, no good systems in place, and it's not fully realized.
I think the problem is because the powers to be, if someone has power, they don't want to give it up. Distributism is really that everyone's got the ability to own property. Everyone's got the ability to own the means of production. So you don't have, anytime you have an economic system, the power likes to go to the top, and people don't like to give up that power. And I think that's that can be an issue. But yeah, the two, G.K. Chesterton and Hilaire Belloc, are the two most famous philosophers, and that Catholic philosophers that really try to push it in the 1900s. And it didn't gain a lot of traction. And if you listen to a distributist online, I think the only issue is no one really knows what distributism is other than when you talk about these principles. And that's why I think it's very important. What kind of laws can we pass within our economic system to really promote those distributism ideas?
Yeah, and if you
especially
go back
subsidiarity.
You go back to those original writings on it and go back to kind of the source, as you will, you're not going to misinterpret what that is, because you're right. It can be defined in whatever way you want, really.
Yeah, and what they did was they took the writings of Heinrich Pesch and really tried to say, this is the kind of system that we want. And, I guess it's up to us and see if we can do that. And I think one of the most important ones is subsidiarity. That's where everything at the local level makes the decisions. So you don't have the centralized power somewhere else in Washington, D.C. that's telling people in Idaho how to live, that you need people in the actual local community making those decisions.
Too cool. And so a top 5 next week. We'll look forward to that.
Top 5, maybe I'll add a 6.
Ah,
if you're lucky.
he always gives us a little more. He's Mr. Value. Drew Blazsik, thanks so much. Great to see you this morning.
Hey, nice seeing you too.
Have a great weekend.
You as well.